Take a sip of bark, dude. Freaking out.
Take a sip and shut the fuck up.
How about you start talking? So you do the opposite.
What's going on, people? Thank you for tuning in. Sorry we are late as fuck. We're still figuring this shit out. And every week we get a little bit better, hopefully.
Maybe a little worse.
Maybe a little bit worse, to be honest with you. But thank you for joining us. Another episode of Kai and Ichi's MMA Hour. We're two goofball fans, word spar on the fastest growing sport in the world. I am one of said goofballs, Kai Schwartz, and of course I am joined here by my good friend, Mendy Ichi Ichalevich. What's going on, my dude?
What's going on, everybody?
And this week, as you noticed, in case you couldn't tell, the elephant in the room is that we are in the same room.
Finally.
My parents are went on a cruise, and they asked if I would house sit for them for the week, so I left the magic Orlando to come to my home, back home of Miami.
So thank you, Mr. Schwartz, for letting us use your home.
Yeah.
And these comfortable couches, and hopefully our first successful together podcast in person.
Successful may be a stretch,
yeah.
But all right, we should just get into it. UFC London was this Saturday, and honestly, it was one of the best cards I've ever fucking seen.
One of the best free cards of all time, if not the best free card of all time. First fight night out of the Apex in 3 years, I think. First time live in front of fans. Super excited about that. Super happy to see everyone was there. UK has some fighters, I'll tell you that. UK is coming out banging with fighters. All of them, I think, won the card. Even a Scottish guy won the card.
There were a few Brits that didn't win. I mean, the most notable, of course, was what was his name? I can never pronounce any of these fucking people's names. Jai Herbert losing to Ilia Topuria because Ilia Topuria is a fucking beast. I mean, he's now I think 11-0 or 12-0, and yeah, I mean there were so many memorable moments from this card. I was, like I said, this is maybe the first time where I felt like I was robbing Dana White.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
I mean, that should not have been a fight night. That could have been a pay-per-view. That could have sold so much.
But you know what? It definitely makes up for 272 because I feel like I was ripped off there
a little bit.
This and last week make up for it. These were fantastic cards.
Yeah, UFC always makes it up to their fans, whether you don't see it or whether you see it later, they'll make it up to you.
Well, what would you say was your favorite fight of the night?
Fight of the night. Let's look here. I might have to go with Molly's knockout.
Oh yeah,
that thing was out of fucking nowhere. I think she was trying to set it up, honestly. So I might take that back. I think she was trying to set it up throughout the first round. She was trying to get a spin. She finally saw the angle. She finally saw the spacing for it and went for it. And home fucking run, Molly. Home fucking run.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't seen that already, definitely look it up. Molly McCann, KO, Luana Carolina, just fucking amazing. I mean, she dominated her the entire time. I mean, she almost had her out of there in the first round, just with that barrage of punches. In the second round, she was just, conserving her energy, getting some good takedowns. And then in the third round, she just delivered one of the most beautiful finishes I've ever seen. Definitely a contender for knockout of the year.
For sure, definitely a contender. Perfect Muay Thai spinning elbow, just perfect.
So I think that we should talk about the main event, which was Tom Aspinall versus Alexander Volkov. Tom Aspinall is the future of this division.
He is crazy. So if you think that Cyril Gane has good footwork, if you think Cyril Gane is light on his feet, Tom Aspinall is even lighter on his feet, is even faster in person. And honestly, that was the first time Tom Aspinall actually fought with people in the crowd.
Yeah.
Ever in the UFC. I believe this is his fourth fight in the UFC. All the three other ones were in the Apex. The fourth fight, main event, which is crazy for your fourth fight in the UFC. Main event in your hometown, in your home country. Fuck, dude.
Didn't seem to really affect him at all.
Not at all. We all had a question we didn't know.
At the very least, I mean, you could even argue made him better.
Yeah.
But I mean, although Tom Aspinall is really always coming out with these early finishes, he's just so versatile. And he moves again like Cyril Gane. He moves like a middleweight.
So light on his feet.
I mean, he had Volkov out of there. Well, I think it was a Kimura finish, or was it? Or an armbar?
It was a straight armbar. a straight armbar. Usually no one taps from that. You tap from straight armbar.
Yeah.
And Volkov's the guy that you can't really take out. So it's kind of crazy to see Volkov go out that quickly and tap on that. I mean, it must have been a perfect straight armbar.
Yeah, I don't think Volkov's ever been submitted before.
No, I don't
And everyone was saying, like, this is going to be a 5-rounder. Like, people expected Aspinall to win. He was the betting favorite.
He's number 6.
But no, Aspinall was 11, Volkov was 6. Yeah, I mean, Aspinall was the betting favorite, but at the same time, people thought it was going to go 5 rounds because of Volkov's endurance.
Yes, and I think it was only a favorite when it got closer to the fight. I think the day before he became a favorite. I think throughout the whole week he wasn't. When they got closer and closer, I think that's what happened, from what I remember.
Well, that means that the bettors got a lot smarter as we got closer to the events.
Yeah, they saw the momentum, they saw the hype, they saw the weigh-ins, you saw how everything was going. Volkov might have been a little nervous, who knows? But yeah, anyways, Tom Aspinall, perfect finish. Literally couldn't have been a better main event for him. You know what I mean? Just takedown timing, the speed. You can see the speed advantage right away. The second the fight starts, Volkov tries to throw a jab, he just whoop. Like nothing, as if he was sparring a 5-year-old. Like you could tell that he was just so much quicker than he was, and I don't know, it was picture perfect.
I mean, I blinked; it was basically over.
Pretty much, right?
But that's the way a lot of these fights went. I mean, Arnold Allen versus Dan Hooker. This is. I mean, next to the crazy Molly McCann finish, I say this is the top story of that night. It was just crazy. Obviously, you know, Dan Hooker's return to 145 after years. And, you know, this was kind of what should have been his big redemption moment, what he wanted it to be, because he's been on a bit of a slump lately. But Arnold Allen just got in there and put him away.
Yeah, and Arnold Allen, if I'm not mistaken, is a jiu-jitsu wrestler type of guy. And he was like, I can knock people out. Like, I can do it. And no one believed him. No, he can knock people out, all right. He is a great striker from what I saw. I think
Allen's 5 last fights, his last wins, because he's an 8-fight win streak, I think his last 5 wins were by decision. This is like his first knockout in a while.
I think he drowns them out with wrestling, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right? He mostly wrestles, doesn't really stand up.
Well, he said in the post-fight interview he didn't stick to his game plan. He just went in. He was just like...
Saw the opening.
He's just like, he saw the opening, he just wanted to throw hands, and... It makes sense. I mean, Dan Hooker did stay in the pocket, to his credit. He did stay in the pocket, and he did rock him at that one point.
Yeah, he dropped him on the knee. He dropped him on the knee.
But Arnold Allen just had the endurance to keep going, and he got Hooker out of there.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, like, I love Hooker. I love that whole team down in Australia, in New Zealand. I love them. I really do. Him, Izzy, you know, all those guys, and, like, it's just so sad to see him go down in 4 to 5 fights he's lost. I mean, I love Dan Hooker win, but like,
yeah, and I mean, and that really brings up the question: is what's next for him? So I did a Twitter poll. I asked 2 questions. The first one was: is Dan Hooker's UFC career over? 76% of you voted yes. 24% voted no.
Yeah. So let's see on the yes.
And the second, but then the second poll, I asked, what's Dan Hooker's next move? I put try for one more UFC fight, Bellator, or Eagle FC. So we got, for try one more UFC fight, we got 50%. Blaydes League. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, if Khabib is obviously a person who's going to promote things well and treat his fighters right, and he just got Junior Dos Santos. So and Kevin Lee, like, this is not a league for amateurs.
League. Yeah, it's not a small league at all.
It's definitely going to be going places. I mean, someone like Dan Hooker getting on the ground floor of Eagle FC could be really good for his career. But most of you said that he should try for one more fight. Do you think he should stay at featherweight?
They're going to give him one more fight. They're going to give him one more fight.
Well, yeah, even Dana said Dan Hooker can do whatever he wants. Yeah. Dana said that in the post-fight interview. Do you think he should stay at featherweight, or should go back to lightweight?
I don't think the weight was the issue. I will say that. I don't think the weight is the issue for him. He made 145 before he actually had to make it, actually. He made it like...
That's what he claimed.
Months ago.
That's what he claimed.
Saw it on the
video. Yeah, with the test.
There was a video.
Okay.
There's a video. He literally just said, see, coach, I can do it. So I don't think the weight's the issue. I think the way he's approaching his fights is the issue. So we know him as having a crazy chin. Those wars with Dustin Poirier, right? Let's say, take that for example. So he's like, I can take anything. If I can take Dustin Poirier's landslide of punches, I can take anyone's punches. So I think that was his mindset going in there. He's like, this guy's not going to be able to knock me out. Dustin Poirier can knock me out. In that type of sense, you know? So it looked like he was using, I don't want to obviously critique Dan Hooker, but from what I saw, it seems like he was trying to use his face as defense. And that's not what you should be doing, right? Your hands got to be up. I don't know if you saw, his hands were kind of low the whole fight. Wasn't really scared of his punches. Wasn't threatened. And When I saw Izzy reviewing it in his recap, and while he was watching it, he was like, he has the distance on him. You got to move out the way. You got to move out the way. He didn't want to. He didn't want to give up that space, and then so he got knocked out.
I have two theories on why he might have done this. The first is that, like you said, he didn't think that he was going to be knocked out by those punches, so he just assumed that he could stay in the pocket and keep going. Yeah. The second is that because Arnold Allen is known more for his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu, you would assume keeping your hands low, it prevents a shoot. Yeah. Because, if you watched his fight against Islam Makhachev, what happened is that he was keeping his hands higher, got taken down, got that Kimura finish easily.
In the middle, I guess. Yeah.
So he's trying to adapt from his mistakes, but it really just about picking your moments. I think he should go back to 155.
Interesting.
I think that Dan Hooker. I don't think that Dan Hooker is a title contender. I don't think that he's one of those fighters
right now. No.
But we've been talking about this a lot lately, and we have discovered a new, maybe not a new, but an important role in the UFC in each division that is not merely for people that are shooting for a title shot. We call them the gatekeeper position.
Yes.
Almost every division has one. In the welterweight division, you have there's a bunch of guys, really.
It's too stacked.
You could maybe say Jorge.
You could say Jorge. You could say Colby now because he's not going to fight for the title shot. So Colby's going to.
But Colby's a top contender. Colby will fight for a title again. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, but for now he's a gatekeeper.
Yeah, but
maybe Gilbert Burns, something like that.
No, Gilbert Burns, I think, is also. I think maybe Michael Chiesa, Jorge.
Guys,
yeah, like those guys that are in like the middle of the top 15. Yeah,
7, 8,
yeah.
9.
In the middleweight division, it's super fucking clear. It is Kelvin Gastelum.
True.
In the light heavyweight division, it's Anthony Smith. Heavyweight, I would say, is Volkov. I think it's Volkov.
Volkov was, yeah.
Yeah, I think Volkov is sort of like, if you can get past Volkov, you are a top contender.
You can get into the top 5 or something like that.
Yeah, but almost every division has one of these. So I think that Dan Hooker would serve well, and he would probably get paid pretty well if he
stayed at
155 and just acted in this sort of gatekeeper position. He could probably keep somewhere between 6 and 10 if he keeps fighting.
He's still top 10.
Yeah, he could probably stay in that range because he's still entertaining. He's still popular.
He'll still fight, yeah.
But just make it clear that this is his role. If you can get past Dan Hooker, then you are a top contender. That should be. I think that should be. I think he should stay at lightweight, stay at 155. And he should serve in this sort of gatekeeper role because the lightweight division doesn't really have one right now.
Yeah, they're all running around all the time. It used to be Tony Ferguson, I would say, because he kept on fighting the top guys, but he never actually fought for the title.
Yeah.
So in that sense, he was the gatekeeper because everyone had to fight him, or he had to fight everyone else. So it was kind of like.
But that was more by default because at the time Tony was on an amazing win streak.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't given a title fight because of timing, bad circumstances. It had nothing to. It wasn't like a clear cut, like, oh, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, you serve as a gatekeeper for the top contenders. It was more just bad timing. Now, Tony, I mean, he could maybe serve that purpose, although I think that his fight with Michael Chandler will be his last fight.
And I feel very bad. I mean, in the sense of, like, I know what's going to happen in that fight. I can almost guarantee it. Chandler knocks his ass out. Sorry to say that, but I believe that that's what's going to happen. Too much power. He's taken too much damage throughout his career. Look at the Gagey fight. He's never been the same. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. I mean, it's part of the game. He knows what he signed up for. And I don't think that shit's going to hold up. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think that shit holds up at all.
All right, so in the next, let's talk about.
We have to talk about.
The
only Patty
Pimblett. Yeah, we have
Patty the Batty.
Patty Pimblett versus Missoula Vargas, which I mean, that was a very good fight. It was very similar to his first fight, where at the beginning, I mean, it looked like he was almost put out of there. He got hit. He got taken down. There was some control issues, but. I mean, he reversed it. That was an amazing. What was it, like a judo throw?
And he did mention that in the post-fight interview. He said, "Listen, I need to get hit to wake up in here." He's like, "I'm too relaxed." As you saw, his walkout, he's dancing, he's singing, he's looking around, he's saying hi to people, whatever he's doing. He's way too relaxed before a fight. He's way too used to this. He needs to get hit to realize he's in danger. He's not threatened by anybody, clearly, until he gets hit. Once he gets hit, then he takes it seriously, and look what happens.
The downside is that because that keeps happening, people don't take him as seriously as they probably should. They're like, oh, he almost got knocked out. He almost got... And they keep going with this last one. But it's so funny to me that people are like, oh, Paddy can't be a top contender. I mean, he's not there yet, but he can't be one because he keeps almost getting knocked out. Okay, but Ilia Topuria, who these same people love, he almost got knocked out in his fight.
Yeah, and you have to remember, I mean, they're fighting top guys. You know what I mean? Anyone in the UFC is a threat.
Just because you're not ranked does not mean you're not a threat.
Yeah, I mean, of course you need to get up there, but I'm saying in the sense of just because you're getting hit, this is a game of centimeters. This is a game of not inches, centimeters, millimeters. If you slip instead of slap, you know what I mean? Like if you jib instead of jab, you're gonna get hit, and that's okay. It's all part of it. And I think anyone who says that is just a hater. I don't think they understand the sport to the fullest extent. If you're going to say that somebody gets hit is why there can't be a top contender, I don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of Paddy and Ilia Topuria, they got into it a few days before.
Hand sanitizer bowl.
I'm not exactly sure what led up to it, but I mean, they were in the same.
It was a tweet or something.
Yeah, they were tweeting each other back and forth, and then they met in person, and Topuria, I guess, threw a bottle of hand sanitizer at Paddy, or he hit him, or what was it? I
think Ilia screamed at him, and then Paddy's like, am I going to punch this guy? No, I'm not going to risk breaking my hand, so I'm just going to take a hand sanitizer that's right here, I'm going to throw it at Ilia's head, and he did that, he hit it.
Oh, but
and then Ilia was just like, rah, rah, rah,
I think Ilia hit Paddy, or someone on that team.
Someone tried, and he slipped. I think Ilia tried to throw a punch over the table. He slipped, he completely missed Paddy, and then he was like, I'm not going to use my hand to punch him back, because if I break my hand, I don't have a fight. Fuck that. I'm not going to risk all that for this idiot. Takes a hand sanitizer bottle, throws it at his face, and game.
Yeah, I have to rewatch the video for sure. But I mean, you know, it's so funny because Paddy was asked about Topuria, and because when Topuria won his fight, he called Paddy a blonde bitch, and he's like, and he called him out. He said that's who he wants to fight next. But when Paddy was asked about Topuria after the fight, he's like, you know, a lion doesn't concern himself with the opinion of sheep.
I love it.
But
what a guy.
It's a very smart move. The truth is that
Paddy doesn't need Ilia. Ilia needs Paddy.
Yeah, but also I don't think that Paddy should fight Ilia for the money that he's getting right now. And that's what he said. Like Paddy Pimblett and Sean O'Malley are probably two of the smartest fighters in terms of the way they promote themselves and the way that they understand their career trajectories.
The reason for that is because they're new gen fighters. They're new generation fighters. These guys understand their worth. They understand, you know what I mean? Like fighters back in the day, they don't understand their worth. They don't know. They're, all right, you're gonna pay me, I want to fight. You know, it's a lot more dogfight type stuff. You know what I mean? Now it's new age fighters. They're coming out there saying, "Listen, I know exactly what I'm worth. I know exactly what I bring to the table, and I'm only gonna do these crazy fights. You guys pay me to that."
Yeah, I mean, and they're open about it. They've both been like, you know, we're not going to fight. Why should we fight top contenders and possibly because a loss hurts us. A loss hurts us more than a win helps us with our current pay.
Fighting top 15, 20 guys, you know, those that 10 to 20 bracket over there, and keep fighting those guys until their new contract comes up. And if they rack up those wins against those 10 to 20 guys, then you know they can get paid handsomely on their next contract.
Yeah, but
that's what they're really looking for.
But you know, at some point, I do want to see Paddy versus Topuria. That would be a bomb-ass fight.
I'm sure it'll happen, but not yet. What do
you think wins that fight?
I gotta go with Paddy. I gotta go with Paddy. I've never seen him get knocked out. You know, I've seen some of his highlights back in the UK when he had the other organization. Dude, his fights are crazy, and he's right. He's never in a boring fight. He did say that. I've never seen him in a boring fight.
I'm gonna go Topuria, honestly. As much as I love Paddy, I'm gonna go Topuria. I mean, Topuria is what right now? He's like 11-0, 12-0. He's a monster.
Yeah, he's definitely a monster.
He's a monster. He is going to be. If he's not in the top 15 this week or next week, he is going to be within the next 6 months. Like Ilia, because Paddy is a showman. You know, Paddy is building his brand.
Yeah.
Paddy's going to reach the top 15 slowly. Ilia Topuria is going to shoot up into the top ranks. They're going to fast, like, he's going to end up just on pure skill alone. I mean, it's like Rafael Fiziev. You know, in the sense where like no one, they don't have a lot of promotional hype behind them, but they are just so skilled that they claw their way up the ranks.
Yeah, their fights are entertaining enough to where they don't need so much marketing. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, the prelims were amazing too. Almost all that, like just this whole card.
Out here, yeah.
I mean,
Jack are crazy.
Jack Shore versus Timur Valev. I mean,
Paul Craig. Can we talk about Paul Craig for a second?
Yeah, let's do it.
Dude, Paul Craig is one of the scariest dudes of all time. He's Scottish, okay, and he wears skirts and shit. But I would not mess with that guy. That guy has the scariest face. Before he fights, looks like he's gonna rip someone's head off. Okay, like there is no smiling, there is no grinning. He's not happy to be in the UK. He's only happy after the fight.
One of the craziest finishes I think I've ever seen.
Oh my god!
I mean, it was just a it was a reversal. I mean, he was
absolutely
against the fence. I think he was almost going to be choked out in a guillotine, but he just what he did and just him like just falling down and getting his opponent
I mean,
inside of a triangle choke.
Next level.
Of course,
black belt, like crazy black belt.
Obviously,
very, very, very good jiu-jitsu. And I'm looking at the stats here. Paul Craig's control time was 2 seconds on the ground. You know, that's all he needed. That's all he needed. You just needed 2 seconds on the ground. That's how good his jiu-jitsu is. He only needed 2 seconds, which is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, I mean, this card was just stacked.
Yeah, let's talk about, we're going to talk about really amazing prospects coming up. Let's talk about Muhammad Mokaya versus Cody Durden. I mean, that he got a guillotine choke in 58 seconds.
Insane. He, like, jumped on his head, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, this is maybe the top.
He was standing up.
And Muhammad is 21 years old.
It's a kid. He's a kid.
He's younger than us.
He's younger than us, and he's doing this. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I mean, this kid's gonna fucking go places.
He's gonna go places, man, and I'm pretty sure he's undefeated.
I don't know. He's too new of a fighter.
I don't really know.
Yeah, I'd have to like dig for his record.
But yeah, I mean, UFC London couldn't have been better. To be honest with you, I was so happy with how it came out, and I was kind of happy it was during the day. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool to have it during the day for us.
You know what's crazy? I didn't know what to do with myself afterwards. I'm not used to UFC being over, and it's like not even 7 o'clock out.
Yeah,
like
6:30.
Like, what do I do? What do I do?
I feel that. I definitely feel that.
But considering just how the increasing wealth of talent that there is over there,
coming out.
They can do fights there whenever they want. Yeah. I will watch.
And Dana said it himself. He's like, we're coming back this year. We're going to reschedule shit. No more Apex. Whatever. He's going to figure out one of those. He's going to come back. He's coming back 100%.
Yeah.
Which is dope.
I'm glad that the UFC is getting on the road again, even for fight nights too.
Yeah.
And you know, because we don't have a title, because most pay-per-views have title shots on the line or high-profile fights.
Yeah.
Just because there's no title shot doesn't mean you have to be in Vegas. I mean, there's just this wealth of talent and just showing off the local culture and the crowds. They love. You know, I've noticed when you go to other countries, especially in Europe, they love their fighters.
Oh yeah, they rep.
They rep hard.
They represent their fighters like crazy. They die for their fighters. You see everyone in the crowd throwing beer in the air. They're going nuts. Like, you don't see that in Las Vegas. You don't see that for American fighters, which is sad.
Speaking of beer, did you see the video of Tom Aspinall after his win, like drinking chugging 2 beers at once?
I love it.
And you know, he because of his their shared love of beer, he called out Tai Tuivasa.
And a lot of people think there was a bad call out. I don't think that was a bad call out. I think it was a great call out.
I think it was a smart as fuck call out.
I think it was smart as fuck call out. I think they're both super entertaining fighter and people. And I think that fight would be perfect. It's exactly what he's looking for. He's going to be in the top 6, I would say. He's going to probably take Volkov's spot. Volkov might go down to 8 or 7. He's going to take number 6 and Tai Tuivasa number 3, if I'm not mistaken. Boom, 6 against number 3. I think it's perfect. Stylistically, it's great. I do think Tai loses that fight, unfortunately. But Tom Aspinall, great call out. Even though Cyril Gane was there, I think he's such a smart fighter, Tom Aspinall. He knows he's not ready for Cyril Gane.
Yeah, Tom really knocked it out of the park with that call-out, because if I was a UFC matchmaker and Tom did not make a call-out, I would be trying to make Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane, because they are both this similar type of new
100%.
Style heavyweight,
100%.
where they're light on their feet, and it's technical. And I mean, and Izzy, I saw in an interview or on his podcast the other day, he was like, that's the fight I want to see, is Aspinall versus Cyril Gane, and because that's a fighter's fight. That's a
100%.
that's a chess match.
Exactly.
But why, if you're looking for a number one contender fight, why subject yourself to a chess match when you can just have a brawl that's going to be higher profile, and it's an easier fight for
100%,
Aspinall.
100%. And I think he wants to move up very smartly and strategically. And I think Tai Tuivasa, then Cyril Gane.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think that's what his goal is here.
Yeah, I mean, the only obstacle is that Tai Tuivasa really wants to fight Stipe. He's been saying that over and over and over again. I mean, we don't know. It's been over a year since Francis knocked Stipe out, and I assume he's ready to come back soon at some point.
I know, but honestly, at the end of the day, it is a business, and you want what you get, and you might get what you don't want. And I think that's going to be what's going to happen with Ty. I think they're going to set up Tom Aspinall. Ty's going to have to wait in the wings for a little bit. But to be honest, Tom didn't take any damage.
Yeah.
So it's not like he has a 6-month recovery or anything like that. He might be able to fight sooner than we think.
Well, we talked about this. There's still a chance that Ty could fight Stipe, because a good matchup to make would be Tom Aspinall versus Tai Tuivasa, and then Cyril Gane versus Stipe. And the winner of those two fights
fight each other
as an interim title fight, because Francis Ngannou is going to be out for like a year following his knee surgery.
For sure. So yeah, I agree. I could definitely see that. I could definitely see them doing that.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense to make those two fights. Winner fight each other. That's for the interim, and then the winner of that fights.
Who do you think wins Stipe versus Cyril Gane? Yeah,
I'm gonna Cyril Gane. I think Stipe, as amazing as he is, and one of the best heavyweights of all time. Again, back to the whole new gen thing. I think these are new gen fighters. They're very different. They understand for some fucking crazy. They're just super light on their feet. These heavyweights, these new heavyweights, they just, I don't know. Maybe it's body type. Maybe it's type of training. Maybe it's just genetics.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Better diet.
Yeah, better diet. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I do know that they're new gen fighters, and I think they're just quicker, faster, and just better in general.
Yeah, I mean, I lean towards Cyril Gane too, but I do, I love Tai Tuivasa. I want to give him what he wants. So, I mean, if I was actually watching a Stipe versus Cyril Gane fight, I'd be rooting for Stipe, because I want to give it. But of course,
give the legends a chance.
But I don't think that Tai Tuivasa, as great as he is, could beat Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall's just built different.
Yeah, let's be honest here. If Tom Aspinall takes Ty to the ground, it's probably
like out of all these new gen British fighters, Aspinall is probably the closest to getting the title, and he's
Tom, for sure. Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck he would do against Francis.
Tom Aspinall.
Yeah, how would you see that fight playing out?
If Tom Aspinall goes against Francis, that's a good question. Let me think. I think Francis, of course, is going to try to knock his ass out. I think he's going to go for power shots.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to do the same thing we did to Cyril, especially if his knees are perfect. He'll be able to hit some crazy shots. And I think the same thing might happen. He's going to go for shoot, just like he did against Volkov. He's going to shoot on him. He's going to try to take him down. And he might just try to submit him sneakily.
But Francis, I feel like Francis might be too bulky for a sub. When you're talking about Tom Aspinall, he's just his body mass.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Getting the angles correctly, because I think they're around also the same height. I think getting the angles correctly on a sub, unless except for a choke, except for maybe a guillotine choke, a rear naked choke.
I might switch my answer. I think Tom Aspinall is just going to try to not get hit and go for points and go all the way. Just be a smart fighter, new gen.
He has
try to finish it.
He has the energy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and of course Francis is slower than him. Let's all be honest. He weighs 300 pounds when he's not training.
That's a smart way to fight.
You know what I mean? We'll try to leg kick him. Hit him in the body. Get out of the way. Slip.
It's so funny. That's what I thought that Tai Tuivasa was going to do against Derek Lewis, and I was so wrong. Ty just went. I was so wrong. No, I thought that Ty was going to use his kickboxing and do point scoring.
Ty's like, fuck this. Let's throw heads. Let's go. Let's do Muay Thai.
Phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, there are so many good fights coming up.
I love that.
I mean, and this tonight created a lot of good on Saturday night created a lot of good potential matchups going forward.
Sure.
I mean, Arnold Allen versus who did he want? Calvin Kattar.
Interesting.
That's who he called out.
Ah, that's a crazy fight.
That is a number one contender fight. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
number one, maybe 3 or something.
Well, you have to remember that the featherweight division is technically backed up because you always have Max Holloway waiting in the wings.
Max Holloway's the gatekeeper? 45?
No, because
No?
no. Max Holloway is
Max fighting for the title again.
Max Holloway is like the uncrowned champ. He's like Kobe, where it's like if Volk was not there, Max would.
A lot of people think he beat him.
I do. I am one of those people. Max Holloway won that second fight. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
Yeah, I kind of agree he might have won that second fight. It was just too close.
Yeah, too close.
Close.
They should fight again.
No, it's gonna happen, just not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
I mean, I think that Volk versus Korean Zombie is a no-brainer. It's like that's.
And we're gonna be there, by the way, guys. So.
We're gonna physically be there. It's gonna be so much fun.
Amazing.
First time going to a UFC event.
I cannot fucking say it's about time. It's about time.
Yeah. Speaking of potential matchups, Conor McGregor, like he did this.
Oh, yes, let's talk about
he did this big interview with the Mac Life, and he said something that I just was not expecting.
Can I precursor this whole situation? Let me make a scene for this. He's sitting in his Black Forage Inn pub, which he purchased. Okay, remodeled the whole thing. It's entirely his. He's the most comfortable he's ever been. He's grown up in that area. He's grown up in that pub. Okay, so he knows everything about it. He feels at home. He bought it. He remodeled it. Whatever. Okay. Now he sits there and he goes, all right, we're going to have an interview. Very free. Very surprised also that he didn't drink. He told the interviewer, I forgot his name. I feel really bad. It's the head interview for Mac Life. But that guy got him a drink. He's like living through him vicariously while he's drinking. He's like, I can't drink today because I'm training. But whatever, it's just really funny how he's like super into everything that he's into. You know what I mean? Like he has a stout, he has a whiskey, he has a this, the restaurant, whatever. Then when you see him asking his questions about all the fight stuff, his personality and his everything comes out. Like his pure Conor comes out, and
I've never seen him so happy before.
And yeah, exactly. I've never seen him so happy and that like pureness of himself, of Conor. Not like the crazy Conor, but like of Conor himself. You see that pureness come out, and I don't know, there's something about it where like you can tell that he's just on another level in life, just in life in general. And I might think that that's a bad thing. I'm gonna say it's a bad thing for fighting, just because you have too many yes men around you. He's too comfortable. You saw how comfortable he was in that situation. And I think that you become a little delusional when everyone around you says yes. And I'm not saying that as I'm only saying that because I've seen it from myself now.
So you're using that as your pretext when he comes out and says that he wants a title shot against Kamaru Usman.
Exactly. So what I'm trying to say, I think he's a little delusional in the sense of, okay, yes, he beat one. He was champion 145. Yes, he beat Oliver. Yes, he beat Alvarez. And yes, he wants to do the 3 champ, whatever. Of course, it's a dream. It's a great dream. And I'm saying go for your dreams, Conor. You've obviously proved this wrong everywhere else. But let's be honest here. You haven't won a fight in fucking who knows how long, okay? You're a little delusional in the fact that you're telling me that a guy that fights 3 times a year, who's the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world, you're going to go and fight him in his weight class, which is not your natural weight class. You're telling me you're going to knock him out? You're telling me he's a sloppy wrestler that doesn't have... Get out of here, bro. Come on. Like, it's just hard to believe. Like, you can't... Like, it's hard for me to believe that you believe that. You know what I mean? And maybe that's just... Maybe that's just Conor. I don't know. Maybe that's just Conor.
See, I don't think that he is going. I don't think that he is going to, nor should he get a title shot right off the bat. But I actually think this might be the smartest move for his career, moving to 170.
Let's go.
Because there is a path for him to a title shot that's relatively simple that can make him and the UFC a lot of money. Because there's 2 fan favorite fights in welterweight, or maybe even 3, that could get him up to a title shot with Usman. If he'd be willing to go through this path. You have, obviously, the rematch with Nate Diaz, the trilogy, a fight against Jorge Masvidal. That's a fight that's people have been talking about a lot more lately.
That's a much smarter fight for him. I could see him knocking out Jorge, if anything. I do not see him knocking out Kamaru.
And then third, and this would be the hardest fight for him, which I can't even remotely see how he would do this, would be beating one of the UFC's newest stars, Khamzat Chimaev.
No, there's no way.
But that's the thing, because
Howard fighting Islam over Khamzat.
Well, that's the thing is that when you're at 170, Conor wants to come in and throw his star power around and say, I want a title shot. The problem is 170 now has a new favorite son in Khamzat Chimaev, and he's getting more and more popular by the day, and you can't really come in as big as a star as you are and muscle your way over Khamzat. That's not going to happen. No. But I think that if you're talking about the 145 champ, the 155 champ, and the 170 champs right now, I think Usman is Conor's easiest fight out of the three, because I think that everything that Conor said about Usman is correct, except for the sloppy wrestler. Usman is a much better wrestler than people. But Usman has never. But Usman doesn't submit people. Usman does not submit people.
That's it. Yeah.
And I think
I see what Conor is saying, but at the same time, you see what he did to Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But that was because Jorge. But that was because Jorge miscalculated, and Conor has a much higher fight IQ. Jorge miscalculated. He said this before. He thought that Usman was going to shoot.
Conor is than Kamaru.
No.
You know how much smaller Conor is? Conor has a 145-pound frame, 155-pound frame.
Have you seen him now?
Yes. But I think that's a lot of juicing, a lot of eating a lot and bulking. When he starts working out cardio, you have to understand, he hasn't done cardio in 6 months. He can't run.
That's true.
He can't run on his leg. What else is he going to do? He has to lift and pull-ups all day.
True.
That's all he could do. The second the cardio comes in, all that fat, right off.
True.
You have to keep that in mind. The guy just went through a major leg surgery, broken bone. Can't run his legs for 6 months already. I still think
that is an easier fight for him than
completely disagree. And the momentum
than Charles Oliveira or Alexander Volkanovski. I think both.
You have to understand, these guys are his weight. These guys are his size. You're talking about a guy.
But he's fought at 170 before.
Yeah, but that's like his weight is max 170. He didn't lose to get to 170.
But now he will. He's like 190 right now.
No, he's way less. I would say he's about 185.
He has I think he publicly said he's 190.
And the only reason for that is because he can't do cardio. He can't run. He can't run. You gotta keep that in mind, bro. You gotta keep that in mind.
But does he need to? Does he need to do that much cardio?
Yes, you're gonna fight a guy. Kamaru Usman is super quick. You have to be doing cardio. 5-round fight. He's gonna go straight to a 5-round fight without having cardio.
Well, Conor can't do 5 rounds. So Conor, every single Conor fight, he has to have the person out within the first 2 or 3 rounds. That's the way Conor fights work. Yeah, so his endurance is irrelevant, because once he goes past round 3, he's done no matter what.
I agree in winning standpoint for him, but Nick Diaz, that's 5 rounds, but
that's a different story.
I don't know if that's different. Is it? I don't know.
Well,
why is it a different story?
Because Nate Diaz is, obviously he's a professional fighter, but he's not a serious fighter. He's
in the sense of not top rated, whatever.
Yeah, or even he doesn't fight Nate doesn't fight to win. He just fights. He fights for fun.
Fights for fun
and money.
Yeah, I know.
Nate only fights when he needs money.
And now, let's go for this. You actually think that Charles Oliveira is an easier fight than Kamaru Usman? The guy naturally, have you seen Kamaru Usman's body? Naturally, the guy's 190. Walks around easy 190, 195. Walks around. Not saying when he comes into the octagon at, but he walks around 190. Conor bulking up is 180 something because he can't do cardio. The second he starts running, easily he sheds off 10 pounds.
Conor's biggest weakness is a submission threat. Charles Oliveira is one of the greatest submission artists, if not the greatest, in the UFC.
In my mind, he loses all of his fights.
Yeah.
155-pound champion, 170-pound champion. He loses all of his fights.
Yeah. Honestly, I know he probably can't. He probably can't make 145 anymore. But I think Conor versus Volk would be a fun fight. Obviously, Volk wins, but I think
Volk would be at 155.
Really?
For sure.
That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, Volk's a big dude.
That'd be so much fun because I don't think either one would go to sleep. I think it would be a war.
I agree. I can see Conor getting knocked out the way with Dustin, kind of like TKO.
Volk prefers the wars, though.
Yeah, but I think they would stop the fight.
Oh, I see.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, you TKO.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that'd be my fantasy thing. If that would happen.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's just so many
potential fights.
So many possibilities.
Great,
But
yeah.
you know one possibility that I never expected was that Kevin Holland being Batman.
Right. Let's talk about this story.
Kevin
Holland.
Holland is just doing these just increasing feats of heroism that are surprising me. I am thoroughly impressed with this man. He helped stop an armed robbery the other day.
Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. There was a guy with a gun in a restaurant that he was at. He sneaks around a corner, tackles the guy or something, double legs him, whatever.
Put him to sleep.
And then, he double legs him first, throws the gun away. His other friend was helping him out, throws the gun the other way, whatever, grabs his backpack, whatever it was, puts the hooks in, grabs a rear naked choke, chokes him out. His friend said he's out. Second he's out, he gets off of him, mounts him, grabs his arms, and game over at this point. Waits for the cops.
Yeah, okay.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Just, I'm so impressed. Every time I hear a story about Kevin Holland, I like him so much more.
Oh, he's the best. I love him as a personality.
Yeah.
He's getting better as a fighter. He went down to 170. I think it's one of the greatest things he could have done in his career. And I could definitely see him being a huge fucking threat. Huge fucking threat.
And plus, the side gig of fighting crime, like no one wants to fight. No one wants to fight Batman.
Yeah, right?
It's a guaranteed loss.
Yeah. Now you're fighting with karma too. So.
Yeah. But I'm very, it's so funny because a lot of people counted him out. A lot of people thought because of his issues with wrestling and takedown defense that he was just, that he just blazed and fizzled. But now he's making a comeback, and I think that he's going to be around for a long time.
I think so too. I think 170 is his place.
Yeah,
it's perfectly there. He's longer and rangier in that category, in that weight class. I think he just matches up with people better there.
And look, worst case scenario, if anything bad happens to him, he immediately becomes a Bellator champion.
Yeah, sure, he could easily go to Bellator. I agree.
And he would definitely
100%.
He could definitely be a 170 champion over there, and make more money because Bellator actually pays their fighters more than the UFC.
Maybe Eagle FC. Who the fuck knows?
It's so funny. People give the UFC shit about that, but Bellator is owned and subsidized by Paramount Studios, one of the biggest corporations on earth.
Yeah.
So naturally, they're going to pay their fighters more, and they put on less events. Mm-hmm. So now
they have less fighters too. Let's be honest. I think they have less fighters.
Oh yeah, the UFC has a roster of like 700 people.
Yeah, exactly. So they have less fighters. They have more money to give out.
Yeah.
Of course, they let the.
Where's the Bellator's Apex and Performance Institute?
I think it's in Miami. All their fights are in fucking Miami.
No, I was joking. But I mean, that doesn't exist.
They do fight so often in Miami.
Yeah.
You could say their Apex is here.
They did in Ireland like a month or two ago.
Yeah,
that was really
that
was really cool.
Really cool. I agree. Anything else you want to talk about?
I mean,
anything in specific?
There's nothing that I can really think of.
I think we covered it all for this week.
I think we pretty much go. Oh, we should do our picks for next week. Obviously,
sure. Let's go through that.
Blaydes versus Daukaus this Saturday. Can't believe we almost forgot about that.
Forgot about our picks. It's been a long night. Let's just say that. Guys.
Yeah, we literally spent like 2 hours trying to figure out just how to stream because we are clinically retarded.
All right, and here we go. Let's go with this.
Let's just start with the main event. Curtis Blaydes versus Chris Daukaus. I have been thinking about this all day. I have been watching tape of both of them all day. Okay. I've been listening to other commentators because I'm still kind of undecided. I don't really know how to pick because my brain logically would say Curtis Blaydes because Curtis Blaydes is faster. He's more versatile. He has a 4-inch reach advantage. He just has a bigger skill set.
He's also heavier.
But
15 pounds.
But we saw what we assumed. This is what we said about Curtis Blaydes when he was going to go fight Derek Lewis, and what happened? Derek Lewis knocked him the fuck out. And Chris Daukaus is also, just this slugger, that can go in and take your lights out in a second.
So I don't think Curtis is going to get a tough firefight. I don't think so. I think he's going to try to take him down.
Okay.
He's way more of a wrestler. I think if it comes to that, where Chris Daukaus is lighting him up, he's just going to go for a takedown.
But Daukaus' ground and pound is pretty good, and he can handle himself on the ground, even if it's not his specialty.
Curtis Blaydes is naturally a wrestler.
Yes.
Right? So he's going to go for that takedown. His 6 takedowns average. His stats, it's about 6 takedowns per fight, I believe. So he's gonna try to get down.
I think it's gonna be a fun fight. And Curtis Blaydes needs a fun fight because Curtis Blaydes versus Rosenstrike was one of the worst fucking things I've ever seen. I didn't even pay for that, and I want my money back. So I'm very excited for this. I'm gonna say it's either going because I can't make one decision. I just can't. It's either gonna be Blaydes by decision or Daukaus by knockout.
I agree. Blaydes by decision, Daukaus by knockout. I agree with that 100%. Usually we disagree, but I think we agree on this one for sure. Let's go with our guy Kaikar of France against Oscar Askarov.
Yeah.
That his first name is his last name.
Yeah.
Well, let's go with that. Oscar Askarov, 14-0. Undefeated. I think 1 no contest. Is that correct? I'm not sure. 3-fight win streak in the UFC. Kaikar of France, 23-9. He's a fucking savage. We saw what happened when he fought Cody Garbrandt. And just ended his career pretty much in that sense. Yeah. Almost a career-ending fight for him. Now, specialty about Kaikar of France, powerhouse with the right hand. Just fucking knocks dudes out with that. People don't see it coming. It's super quick. If I had to go, I'm going to go with my boy Kaikar of France.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably my favorite flyweight. I love the way he performs. He's also just very versatile. Got a lot of power. This is going to be a controversial pick, but I do think that he's going to give Askarov his first loss.
Interesting.
I think. I think that he is going to climb the ranks of this division, and once Figueiredo and Moreno are finally done figuring out who's the best with their quadrilogy,
in a row, right?
Kaikar of France is going to be waiting in the wings to take on the winner.
100%. I agree. I think you should fight the winner of that. Let's go with these heavyweight dudes. Ilir Latifi against Olenek,
Alexei Olenek.
This guy's the most vet of all vets of all time, 59-16. Against Ilir Latifi, 16-8. Ilir is just like looks like a Russian Daniel Cormier in a sense because he's just so compact and short for a heavyweight. He's 5'10". He's really not that tall for a heavyweight. And I don't know. I think if anything, I'm gonna go with Ilir. More of a hungry fighter. Younger, of course. Olenek is like a freaking journeyman at this point.
Yeah, that's the safe bet. And Olenek is on a 3-fight losing streak. Yep. So yeah, I mean that's a safe bet. Let's talk about the co-main event. Sure, Joanne Wood versus Alexa Grosso. This is a very interesting because if you would have asked me about this fight 3 months ago, I would have said Joanne Wood no problem. But because of her last fight, which just was very
she lost the mission against Santos.
Yeah, which was I mean, that was just insane. Because of that last fight, it's a little bit more difficult. I was also looking at that. I'm gonna go with Grosso, honestly.
Sure.
I think she just brings more to the table.
She has momentum.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, exactly. She has the momentum on her side. She's in a 2-fight win streak.
Sure.
So I'm definitely gonna go with Alexa Grosso on that. I don't know how. Okay, so there's a fight. I have no idea how this is in the prelims, who put this in the prelims, and the person who put this in the prelims should be fired, which is Neil Magni versus Max Griffin.
What?
Why?
Are you serious?
Why is this in the prelims? This should be the co-main event.
Co-main event? Are you fucking kidding me?
That is an amazing fight.
That's such a good fight. I didn't see that, but that passed by me.
How is this fight in the prelims?
Neil Magny should never be in the prelims.
Yeah,
just be honest.
And Max Griffin's a fucking legend.
Fucking savage. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go.
Wow, that flew by me. I did not even see that. Honestly, that's fucking crazy.
I mean, they're both powerhouses.
Who do you pick on that?
I'm gonna go with Magni. I think he's hungrier.
Yeah. I agree. I was gonna go with Magni too.
Any man who spends all of his spare time calling out Khamzat Chimaev is a savage. And like,
I do not trust that guy. I don't know what to be around that guy.
Yeah.
He's not safe.
Yeah.
Not a safe person to be around.
Who the fuck put this fight in the prelims?
Yeah, I don't know. Sean Shelby, whatever your name is, get your shit together. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, this card is pretty good. You got some sleepers in here. I'm very excited. You know, I'm excited for every card though. So what the fuck do I know? Like we've established, we're fight nerds. Like we'll watch fucking anything. But you know, so these are our picks for the week.
This is not financial advice.
Do not place your bets just off what we say. But yeah, I mean, I think that's all we have for this week.
I think we're good for this week.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I'm pretty tired just from getting this fucking thing going.
Yes, I agree.
But thank you guys for tuning in, and of course, I will make the probably false promise to you that next week we will not have production issues and we will show up on time.
We'll try our best to do that. So like, subscribe, share it, whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
Do all the things.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You know, as I mentioned before, I live tweet every single UFC card and sometimes other fight cards if I feel like I have the time to watch, like Bellator or Eagle FC or whatever else is on. So definitely check out our Instagram and Twitter, C_I_MMA. Also, we put the podcast on Odyssey, so if YouTube ever tries any fuckery, like the episodes will still exist. You can still see them on Odyssey, so go subscribe to us on there too. Odyssey is a beautiful platform where the videos are backed by blockchain. So even if the entire site crashed to the ground, you would still be able to watch our videos.
Amazing. It's all kinds of work there.
So anyways, thanks for tuning in, late as fuck, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
Have a good one.
Peace.